Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Oh my gosh. It's always, we're going to talk about time management today. And it's always a great weekend when you're able to take the time to just spend some time for yourself and for your family and not work so much. So that's, it's nice.
I try to do that every weekend, at least one day. We will find something to do.
For me, the hardest part with that is I let things pile up during the week at home. And for me, it's really important that my house is clean and organized for me to be able to function. So if I let the house get all messy during the week because there's so much going on, now I have to take a whole day to clean and organize and set up. And then I want the next day to be sitting around doing nothing. But I don't want to sit around.
Yeah, my house is disorganized and
you are okay with it. I wish I was.
I probably spend a lot more time in my bedroom because that is the clean place. Otherwise, all I think about is like if I'm sitting in the living room, I see like fur or not hairballs, but like they shed between the cat and the dogs, and I'll see it on the floor, and all I want to do is mop and da-da-da. I mean, I guess that's a good thing about being in a she shed and, doing my breaks to get coffee, lunch, or whatever, is I try to do a little bit every time I'm in. So like I was just in to get ready from working, and I'm switching out my laundry and, folding and putting stuff away. So that's probably the one benefit of being able to work and play. At least I'm not in the house.
Right. Oh, no, that's why I don't work from home, because if I worked from home, I would get consumed with, oh, I need to clean the bathroom. Oh, let me organize this pile of stuff that needs to be put away, so I wouldn't get any work done. So
it's just when I take my little breaks that it's just putting the dishes away. It's the little teeny things that I try to do throughout the day where I can at least coexist with my house. It's so hard because I had my cleaning person when I lived in Florida that I loved so much, but I don't trust anyone. So it's like, it's all up to me.
Right.
And, the kids don't make it very easy
so a big thing at my house, the cleaning lady comes every other Tuesday. So she came last Tuesday. And on Monday, I let John and Gavin know, cleaning lady's coming tomorrow. You guys need to clean up. And then there was like, what do you mean we have to clean up?
You have to clean before the cleaning, people.
You got to take the shit up off the floor and take the stuff off the counters. So she's cleaning the floor and the counters. She's not cleaning the crap.
For me, I think it became more of a priority. So when I love what I do. So I could sit here and work 14, 16 hours a day and love every second of it. So for me, I have to prioritize family time.
Right.
And it's just it's something I learned years and years and years ago with therapy.
Right.
And even like doing the UPW with the Tony Robbins, it was just super enlightening. And I realized that has to be a priority because I'm a workaholic and I have to really focus on being the wife, being the mom, being, because me time, it's my work. Like that's, I enjoy that. So that's kind of like my hobby. So that part's not the issue. It's making sure I have time for my family and us time and, doing all of that part was where I've always had to kind of work at. So it's just a matter of prioritizing, but there's so many different tools that I use for time management. And that's where I feel, and I know some of our agents like Erica and stuff, like they are so organized. It is so crazy. Their lists and checklists and this and that. And I feel I do the same. Like I use my calendar. I have my appointments. I'm able to time block in that aspect. So I'm lucky, I guess, luckier than most. And that was probably one of the hardest parts about real estate in general, and why because I'm one of those people like, okay, schedule the kid's birthday party, 1:00, everyone shows up, 1:15, they're doing this, 1:30. And
Right.
real estate is not like that at all. So you have to find your power hours to be able to focus on your actual business, because you have your business.
Right. And it's so hard. It's funny. The Saturday before Easter, I was showing houses. And then I had a luncheon with my mother at the place where she lives. And then I had, okay, Mary doesn't realize that I'm on air, but she's just standing out in front of my door acting even though she's picking up the on-air thing that I have attached to my door. Okay. So, and I called a friend of mine on my way home from the second list of showings, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with this pace. I mean, we're in a market right now. When it comes up on the market, you need to go show it right away so that you can get an offer in. And that's hard. That's the part that it gets you off of your schedule, and it gets you off of your, because then you're coming back and you're waiting for your buyer to say, do I want to put an offer in? Don't I want to put an offer in? And my friend Barbara, she goes, oh, so great, they're both going to sleep on it, and so now you're going to be spending Easter writing offers, right? Which wasn't the one couple. They said Saturday night, let's do the offer. So we did. And the other one woke up and said, I don't want to do an offer. So it all worked out fine. But, we always talk about time blocking and organizing your day. And when you have to run and go at a moment's notice to show a house, it gets you off kilter. So having those systems in place and having those checklists in place is super, super important.
And I think that's why like my power hour is like 6 to 8:30 in the morning, because
that that's
no one's
about
really
2.5 hours,
expecting me.
right?
What?
That's 2.5 hours, right?
No, hours. I have a lot of work to do. And I do it 7 days a week.
Right.
Because no one's really up in my house at 6:00 in the morning, but I like to wake up, and I don't need an alarm. Like my body just wakes up at 5:30, 5, the time difference is, I feel like I'm wasting the day away because I'm sleeping till 6 or 5:30. It's like,
right.
But I hate waking up at 4 too, because then the nights are really bad. But in any case, so that's where I can really focus on what I need to do and my checklist and things that I need to get done. And I mean, for me, I'm pretty consistent with the things that I have to do. So sometimes I'll put it on my Google Calendar so it blocks that time away, so that I make sure it gets done. I love Asana, and it's free.
Yep.
I really like it. I mean, I have my book here of my to-dos, which I love to be able to cross off, but I do like Asana because you do have your checklist and you can set things up to repeat. So it's like, okay, on the 25th of each month, you
need to do this. Right.
That's all the social media, birthdays, anniversaries, so that's when I'm scheduling and creating and all of that. So that's the same time every single month. If you're trying to incorporate social and just don't know where to have time, that's where these checklists so help me out. Is on the 28th, I'm scheduling what days or what holidays, or the first of the month, and all the things that I can pre-schedule. I mean, in November, December, I'm pretty much batch contenting all of this stuff. So all of our words of wisdoms, and I have hundreds there. I just try to find the one that works with what we're talking about.
Right.
And that's what I use. So they're already designed. It's just as I'm preparing for the show, which one resonates. And if one doesn't like stand out to me, I just go and Google.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. But having them pre-done, it really, it's such a time saver. And I think sometimes we just get so much in the head.
Right. Well, it's funny because we did a Zoom with Anthony Askowitz. He spoke to our office about ask me anything, and one of the things that he said is he has his listing packets and his buyer packets pre-made. So when the call comes, he's ready to go. For me, actually a couple weeks ago now, I had gotten a referral, and on a I don't remember what day of the week it was. Let's just say it was Tuesday night at 6:30 at night. The next morning at 9:30, the buyers were on the front doorstep, like, we're ready to see houses. And I was like, I'm not even at the office. But I said, I'll be there shortly and we'll regroup and we'll be ready to go. And, I have my buyer thing ready to go. Uh, and we went, but be organized in that way, so that if you have a buyer packet or a seller packet, those are ready to go and all you have to do is grab them. I mean, really the first step, and this is kind of off of that, but the first step is getting your CRM and getting it organized and finding the right CRM for you.
Right, because there is no one size fits all. And we see that question all the time, is what CRM should I get? Well,
Yeah.
what do you do in your business?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really where your focus needs to be. And I always say, here's a few, Follow Up Boss. If you do a lot of online lead gen, something like Follow Up Boss that'll integrate with all of these other systems is
Right.
probably something that you're going to need. If you
Right.
work off your sphere, the Buffini is going to be probably work the best for you. So it's so hard when people just add such, like, what website platform should I use?
Right.
What do you need a website for? What are you
Right.
looking to do? Are you trying to vlog? Like, what are your intentions? Or
Right.
you just want something to put on your business card so people can find you and you can say you have a website. Like,
Right.
there's no one size fits all, but you need to have something in place. And if you are looking for that trackability, you're gonna get out of it the effort that you put into it.
Yeah,
And
that is
it
true.
will take time to fully set up. And that's why, don't take that decision lightly on which one you're going to use just because one person said something. Well, that person, it may work perfect for them and what they need in the business. Go out there, do research, and then do the demos with these companies before you make any commitment.
Right.
Because you're going to learn what each of these platforms do. And it's going to tell you, oh, that's perfect for my business. Or maybe the first one and then the second one mentions this, and this, and that you want, but you didn't hear that from the first one. And now you can reach back out to the salesperson from the first one because you're getting new ideas. So
Right.
the CRM is really going, you have to get organized.
Yeah.
It's
I
the only
know.
way to stay and sane, I guess, right?
Right, for sure, for sure. And like you said, checklists. I mean, checklists are super. I mean, it's just a great way to keep you organized. Whether it's your listing checklist, your buyer's checklist, your contract checklist, or just what you have to do throughout a day. Um, and the
And
best
I
way.
do. That's why the after hours, I think, at least if if you're a night owl, stay up and do a little, even an hour of just focusing on your business, making sure you're on top of everything. And these checklists, like what Asana and stuff has, that's going to really help you because you always want to exceed expectations.
Right.
And when things fall through the crap, when things fall through the crack, you feel like crap.
Right.
Missed a couple words there, but
Right.
you get
Well,
what I
and,
mean.
and and the best way to kind of figure out what your checklist should look like is take a week and every day write down what you're doing. Write down what you did all day long. And that gives you a sense of A, are you wasting too much time on nonsense? Or B, how can you organize and streamline it more? And how can I do my checklists?
Right.
And so take a week, start on a Monday or whatever day, and just every day, just on, kind of like when they say you go on a diet and you should be tracking all the food you're eating, kind of the same thing. Track everything you're doing all day and see where it is you're spending your time, and then that will help you to decide if you're wasting time or if you need to spend more time on something else or how to streamline it. And, maybe, like you said, if you're a night owl and from 10 to 11 is when you're organizing your emails or whatever, then great. Put that on your calendar and start doing it at 10 to 11, whereas you do that like at 6 a.m., right? So figure out what's working for you and implement ways to make it work better. And when you're looking at that week of what did you do, have you scheduled time for yourself? Are you scheduling time for yourself? Did you take any time for yourself? And when you are doing that, are you being present in the moment?
It's so annoying when I go out to dinner and my husband's on his phone.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he forgot his phone at home, and I was like, "Oh, yay! So we can actually have a conversation, and you're not on TikTok the entire time."
Right. Right.
But and something, using these, there's so many tools that we have out there, and one that I love is, being able to schedule emails. So I may be working at 6 o'clock in the morning, and maybe I'm sending an email or answering a question or something like that. I am not sending it at 6. I will. And it's really surprising when it's like not even 5 o'clock and you reply to me.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. But I use, when you go to send, there's a little drop down on Gmail, and I'm sure Outlook has the same thing. I schedule that send because I don't want them replying to me and me actually have to do that work because I'm focusing on my business.
Something else, right? I schedule all the time. And it's funny. One of the agents in our office does a lot of work at night, late at night, and he'll send out emails. And I keep telling him, stop doing that. Schedule them to go out at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning. I said, but you're doing it at 2 a.m. And it elicits a couple of different responses. One is, oh my God, is he crazy? It's 2 a.m. Two is, it gets buried in all the emails that came in overnight, right?
Yes.
So for me, I started the most recent and I worked my way down, especially on my phone because it's easier to do it that way. When I'm on the computer, I usually scroll down and get to the thing that came in first and work my way up. But so sometimes you miss stuff if it came in super late or at a weird time.
Well, and to me, I don't want somebody replying to me at, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we're having an all out conversation and I'm having to work on that. Like that time is me focusing on what I need to get done. So I
Right.
just schedule.
Right.
And so using tools like that can help you work smarter, not harder. Use them. Use those.
Well, and like you say, you don't always want the answers right then because now I have to work on it. Then I don't. So I'm not going to work on this again until 2 o'clock today or whenever, so don't send it out until later. Yeah, I do that a lot. I really do. That's worked really well for me. Or even when I'm sending stuff to the staff here at the office and I think of it over the weekend, I always schedule it for Monday morning or Monday afternoon.
Yes.
Because
you don't want them to think that they have to work or something. I mean,
right.
I don't, it's a little different. I don't schedule. I just send it off.
Oh, right. Yeah, for sure.
But definitely for, I try to be aware of the hours, and yes, for staff or something. Well, no, I don't, because I don't want them to reply on the weekend. That's their time.
Right.
So I will be, but yeah, I mean, sometimes we're thinking about stuff and we just want to put it out there before we forget. So using that calendar, being able to schedule stuff, that's a lifesaver. That's probably
it totally is. It totally is. I mean, and so I mean, so here's another thing. Try and stay on top of your tasks. That feeling of being overwhelmed or not having stuff done or is really, really hard. And it's hard. I mean, I will say for me, my office door is glass and I like it that way so people can just come in and see. But sometimes I get interrupted a lot and then I don't stay on task and I get overwhelmed and I get behind, And so finding a way to keep on task. I mean, I always want that kind of open door policy. And
I think for me, that's why when I was in the office, I was like a 10 to 3 in the office. So my door was always open at that time, but really my work got done at the
In the
same.
morning when you were still at home. Well, I mean, yeah, it's funny because I used to get into the office much earlier, but I find the same thing. I can reply to all the things that came in late in the day before, and everything that came in overnight or first thing in the morning much quicker and easily when I'm at home and not being interrupted, you know?
And
So,
I love that whole interruption, but I still had work I had to do. So that's why for me it was I didn't come in the office till 10, but I was for sure working from
right,
home, at
right,
5
right,
and then, coming in. But that way I wouldn't feel, it was like a welcome, you
right,
know.
right. You
Always
wouldn't feel like you were being taken away from your work. So you felt like you could give that person your undivided attention and you're
absolutely.
present in the moment of what's going on.
And
I
then,
really
I still do the same thing for, the coaching calls and stuff. It's all done by calendar, and that's
mhm,
my calendar hours because
right.
I can't do it at, as much as I may be awake at 6, but that's not available because that's when I have to work.
That's when you're doing your working work.
And make
So,
sure if you do have different things that you're doing with your family that you treat that as that $1,000,000 appointment because it is so important. I mean, that was one of the hardest things about real estate is being at everyone's beck and call. And then I'm missing my kids' events at school and stuff like that. And, being present in the moment. And I remember, on all the holidays, and I would go to my grandmother's house, who was an agent. And, of course, they didn't have cell phones. So you had your home
right.
number and she would take that thing off the hook and put it in an oven mitt. I'm not sure why she didn't like unplug it from the wall. It's like in the kitchen
Oh, yeah.
but she would take the handle, the whole ear thing
The
off,
handle, right, the handle off the
stick
hook
it
and
in an
then
oven mitt, put it in a drawer so that we could have Easter dinner. But you would
uninterrupted.
hear that signal, that bit. I don't know if it was a busy. I don't know. There would be a
Yeah,
chime
because
for
it
a
would be
while.
like meh, meh, meh,
Right. So that's why
it was
she.
the
And
off
I'm
the
like,
hook signal. Meh,
but
meh,
why didn't I'm thinking? Why didn't she just
because it was attached to the wall.
I know, but it still had the little, the earpiece that had that
Oh,
little
you mean just
wire. Just
take
take
off the
that.
earpiece. Oh, that would have made sense.
Right. I guess I didn't think about that at 12 or
Right. And
but
clearly she didn't
but
think
I
of
think
it
back
either.
now, like, why didn't she just do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just remember that, and it was so she would not be because she would be answering the phone. If she
Right.
did not do that, she would be answering the phone.
Right.
So she's like,
Right.
"I'm going to at least have dinner with my family without
Right.
being interrupted, and hopefully we don't hear that buzzing, that annoying noise."
Noise. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the same thing. You need to do that with your family. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I think when you actually jot down and use the notes on your phone to kind of jot down things that you do every day and after that week to kind of look, I bet you there's a lot of things that you can use tools to work smarter and batching a lot of these things to where we can really make that time management make more sense instead of
Right.
being over here. And I have squirrel brain, so I do that. And that's why I have to use that Asana program to keep me focused and on track. And it sends me an email every day. What do I need to do? I can go there. I can see my calendar. I can see the list. And I love being able to check in. If I get 3 things done in one day, I get like cute little flying unicorns or something. And there's just something about the satisfaction of getting that unicorn. So
That's funny. And I mean, here's the thing, right? You're talking about like batching things together as well as what can you automate? What can you use a transaction coordinator for?
yes.
What can you use? But any kind of automation, it's funny. I just switched payroll companies and now it's automated. So I don't even have to run it every 2 weeks. It just runs on its own, which is awesome. That's just one less thing that I have to do. That's automated, and anything you can do that gets automated, or you can have someone else take care of.
I mean, and if it makes sense
Better.
to delegate a task that you're not good at to somebody who is good at it so that you can focus on income producing activities, that only makes sense. And that's where
Right.
maybe you like doing your own transaction part of it, but is that where your time is best used?
Right. Right.
And you always have to think about that. They always say, get it before you need it kind of thing. And I know it's a controlling delegation. I have those same issues. Sometimes you just have to let a little bit go so that you can focus on other activities that are some, stuff that really needs your attention.
So
that
this
we
is
can work
this
smarter.
this is really crazy when you say, you need it, you get it
Get it
before
before
you
you need
actually.
it.
So it was in 2011 when I won the Tom Ferry
Sales power.
sales. 2011, Heather. It's 2022 now.
That's so crazy.
And I remember that's like when we first started using Twitter, right? Tweeting. And I tweeted to Tom Ferry, when do you know if you need an assistant? And his response was, if you're asking, the answer is you need an assistant.
And that's where I think that was his thing, was get it before you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was always just kind of piled into my head, and just, always, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because it's going to allow you to grow in a way that you never thought possible. And it'll take some, and especially, and I have like teenagers, so, well, not so much anymore. And I can't get them to do
Like,
stuff for
what?
me anymore. But,
It's like,
back in the
they're
day,
more than teenagers now, or at least
yeah, I
one
know.
of them
But
is.
back when they were teenagers and didn't have jobs and stuff, I was able to have them help me with so much stuff and give them, even like database entry and just the really simple, tedious, whatever stuff.
Right.
Give it to them. And
Right.
they, give them a little money. It was well worth it for me. Even now, I still have, Jess will do all of my typing for all of my bank statements and stuff like that. And I'll give her a ridiculous amount of money that she is more than happy to do it for. And it's like a fraction of what it's worth her
What
doing
your
for
time
me.
is worth. Yeah. What your time is worth.
Right. And that's how I look at it, is what it, and the same thing, with the grocery shopping. Like, I have the professionals do it. I just go on here and
Me too. I haven't grocery shopped in person in way before COVID.
Mine was not when COVID hit. I didn't know how to act in public. So, and Leo's like, I'm lazy. And I'm like, no, that's time management, because it's an hour. It's a half an hour there, half an hour back, an hour there. And everybody's super nice here in Tennessee. And they want to talk about everything you're buying. And, oh, I love this. So for me,
you don't have time for that. Yeah. Yeah.
I tip, I exceed whatever their maximum tip is, because it is so worth it to me for them to do it and just drop it on my doorstep. And then I just go out there, grab it, put it away, and I'm done.
I totally agree.
I realized I saved so much money because I realized how much crap I bought.
Because you're in the store. Because you're in the store and you're hungry, and you're like, because they always say you should never go when you're hungry, because then I remember one time, this is when I was pregnant with Ian. I must have been thirsty. I bought so much water, sparkling water, vitamin water. That's when I discovered vitamin water. That was 20 years ago, almost 21 years ago. Vitamin water. I packed a suitcase full of drinks to go to the hospital with. I must have been so so thirsty that week before he was born. It was crazy, but
oh, that's so funny. But to me, it's time management. So what are you doing that you can automate, find systems and tools that'll help you work smarter, not harder in doing that? And where can you batch different things? Where are you kind of wasting time away? And wasting is not your family, because you need to make sure that you're incorporating that. Is super important for that whole balance in life. And we need to make, that's not wasting time. That is super, super important. You need to be able to recharge yourself. So making sure that you have your own time, whether it be exercising, yoga, whatever it may be, you need to make sure that you're setting time for yourself.
Exactly.
And your family.
Exactly. So for your weekly activity, write down what you're doing and going throughout the day for a whole week. And then at the end of the week, find ways for you to work smarter, make some adjustments, make some improvements so that you can plan better for the future.
And your words of wisdom, motivation for the week are either run the day or the day runs you.
That's huge. That's huge.
Because it's so true. It's
Yeah.
so true. It's so true.
Exactly.
So true.
Yeah.
So we've got some great shows lined up. So until next week, wake up, kick ass. Oh, what was that? What were you
I
saying?
just thought of something I'll tell you when we get off screen.
Okay. All right. Wake up, kick ass, and repeat. We'll see you guys next week.